Hello my friends, and let's go straight to the special military operation of the Ukrainian army, which is ongoing on territory of occupied Crimea. Yes, Ukraine continued to use drone boats as the mother ships for FPV drones, which in their turn hit very fat targets out there, for example S-400 air defense systems. Let's watch this fantastic video compilation of the recent strikes. Oh, run baby run, because it's going to be a big kaboom. FPV drones really rule out there. Awesome. One more. What is this? This is the launcher of the S-400 system. Before it was the radar. So maybe all of the battery is gone. Oh my god, one more S-400. S-400 is the most sophisticated Russian system, air defense system ever produced. Turkey ordered it. By the way, Iran had this system, maybe S-300 after all, but the difference is not that huge. And thanks to primary units of the Ukrainian military intelligence, those operations are really possible. Fantastic videos, fantastic confirmation of really success of Ukrainian army out there in Crimea. And Russia, well, Russian Z military bloggers, they're in shock because Ukraine continued with those operations for at least 3 months. And Russians, well, they do not defend their air defense. Yeah, you need to defend your defense because it is unable to cope with FPV drones. Yeah, we recall the spiderweb operation, but it is also a very sophisticated operation, my friends, to send the drone boat, to launch the FPV drones from the drone boat, to reach and find those targets, to successfully hit those. For now, Russia is unable to do that stuff, so Ukraine is more technical at this war, more professional and more technological, let's say. But first of all, Ukraine has the direct access to the Western technologies, to all of the spare parts, and Russia continue to be under the sanctions, and if they need to get some of the unique components, it's a pain in the ass for them as usual. Absolutely great start of today's video, my friends, from those awesome news, and we have more awesome news coming in today's video. Let's go step by step. For example, we have one more exchange. I'm always happy, guys, to hear the news about exchanges, and it's the big plus actually about those fake negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Let's speak about it honestly. So the only plus that there were major exchanges, like I think thousands of people were exchanged recently, judging on the images coming. I would say one of the most positive news we have for a very, very long time. Our guys went back. Yeah, Russia also get their soldiers back. Probably they're gonna send those again to the meat grinder, but the main thing that our guys were returned. In my last video, I showed you how Ukraine successfully using the Bayraktar TB2 attack drone. It was definitely a successful mission. So we have the evidence that Ukraine is returning to the previous tactics of the drone usage of this type of the drone. The Russian propaganda say that they've shut down all of the Ukrainian Bayraktar drones, but it is not correct, my friends. Ukraine was just using those mostly for surveillance missions, not for attack missions. However, indeed, for a long time we saw the confirmation that Ukraine is using those also occasionally for attack missions. Here, guys, we have the first evidence of how Ukraine launches the air-pragged A-22 Foxbat drones to strike Russian facilities for a very, very long range. They have extra fuel tanks and they carry lots of the payload, you understand what I mean. Yeah, for the takeoff, the lights are on, but later on they switched off. It's just for the drone operator to check it out. I wonder if the airplane flies automatically or if it's being controlled by Ukrainian drone operator. Like, takeoff is obviously controlled, but for the range of 2,000 kilometers, yeah, it may fly even for this range. I just wonder how it's possible to control the airplane. Starlink or some other system, maybe SIM cards. If we exclude Soviet-made jet drones, which were used by Ukraine to target Engels airfield, this is the biggest drone in Ukrainian army, which is being produced in Ukraine. I personally know the constructor of this airplane, the designer of aircraft. And I really like his airplanes. I've flown this particular airplane, which was converted into drone. Aeropract A22. It's ultralight, well-controlled, fantastic machine. What is happening in Bryansk? We have the video from the smoke coming. Locals report about multiple of the kabooms in the area. Well, as the local eyewitnesses say, this is the ammunition depot which is burning. But I also got the information about the oil storage, so I need some time to clarify this. Yeah, I just received the confirmation that it's the rocket fuel storage. Rocket fuel storage sounds nice. And guys, here I want to share the thanks for my Patreon supporters and also the members of the channel. You are doing a fantastic job motivating me to film more every day. Thank you so much for it. And if you don't have the opportunity to support me through Patreon, you may just press your like and subscribe for the channel, because that's how you help YouTube algorithms to see this video and propel it to everyone. Thank you so much. Guys, you probably remember the tube operation of the Russian army in the Kursk Oblast. Then Russians were sent through the gas pipeline. Yeah, they emerged behind Ukrainian defense. Most of them were kaputted, but those who survived, they faced tremendous issues with their health, including the lung cancer. Many of the participants were diagnosed with this severe sickness, but in a military hospital of Kursk region, they were told that they have just bronchitis. I hope I spelled it correctly. They were told that it's not a severe sickness, and they were given by just 100,000 rubles. It's roughly $1,200, and just after in different clinics it was diagnosed as the lung cancer. And that is kind of the severe health deterioration which was initially caused by this tube operation. And those soldiers, they want to have compensation, at least 3 million rubles, as it was promised at the very beginning that they signed the contract. If something bad happens, they would receive that kind of the big compensation. I mean, severe health issues. But the Russian authorities are not willing to compensate them anything extra, like 100,000 rubles, and you're good to go. Moreover, the same Russian authorities blame those soldiers for extortion and blackmail, because they need some extra money from the government. So yeah, that's the outcome of the Russian tube operation. We have this information officially from the Astra channel. They report about all of the details, which I don't want to specify on the channel. I just tell you the picture, how it definitely is. Right guys, yesterday we got the information that Ukrainian armed forces, with the help of the drones, attacked the local Russian train in Kherson Oblast, or in Zaporizhia. Yeah, indeed, there was the attack. There were some of the Ukrainian drones launched on the train, but Russian air defense worked and drones were shut down. So for now, I would say that there was the attempt to attack the train, but Russian air defense worked quite well here in this particular case. Maybe the train was really important. Yeah, it happened in Zaporizhia Oblast. The Ukrainian military command reported about the attack, but they say about the successful attack. We have more evidence and more information which shows that the attack was not successful. Those are not the FPV drones. Well, the only positive stuff that one of the trains, like locomotives, was finally hit by one of the drones. It is not shown on this video. It was reported by Russians themselves, but the fire was eliminated and train made it to destination. But few days ago, there was the successful strike on a Russian fuel train, also in Zaporizhia region. So Ukraine continue regularly perform those kind of the operations using drones. Yeah, this time it is not successful with this particular train, but in the future, obviously, there will be more successful cases. Alright guys, more videos from the front lines. I cannot show you everything, but what I must say, that Russia has significant losses out there. Ukraine is doing a fantastic job annihilating the Russian supply convoys, attack convoys. Russia is still gathering their forces in columns to attack Ukrainian positions, and they're easily spotted by Ukrainian surveillance drones. And this is kind of the rare case where Ukraine used Switchblade 600 version against Russian vehicles. A big sabotage operation is carried out probably by Russian proxies in Germany against the Bundeswehr army vehicles in Erfurt city. Yeah, Erfurt. I hope I spelled it correctly. Those are Rheinmetall manned vehicles, tow truck from what I see, supply truck, one more tow truck, and the rest of the vehicles, similar to the first one. Someone fired those up during the nighttime, and at first I received this information from the Russian channels. I wonder if this place is just a logistic center or the military base of Germany. And here next to my image you may see a Bundeswehr sign. This is the cross of Bundeswehr. It means that those vehicles belong to the German army. Whether they plan to transfer those to Ukraine, I'm out of clue. But probably vehicles were on regular maintenance. Again, it tells a lot about security, which was absent, I'm sure about it, in this case. Yeah, guys, we should be ready for those sabotage operations performed by Russian sleeping cells in Europe. Also in Germany, because there are many of the people who support Putin, ethnical Russians as well. I do not say that all of them support Putin, but we should take care about everything, including monitoring the social media, because on TikTok I saw lots of the pro-Russian propaganda. They speak about it openly in German. About the front lines, well guys, Russia still has the advantage, but sometimes Ukraine may counterattack. For example, not long time ago Ukraine liberated Zeleny small village. But other than that, Russia has territorial gains. For example, they captured the Yalta village almost fully. This is the eastern side of Ukraine. According to the deep state, Russians moved towards Yalta indeed, and they captured the part of the village and Zaporizhia village also partially. If we go south a little, there is also the Russian movement, so yesterday and today, you may see. Here Russia is very close to the border with Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, but it's the only change for the last 24 hours. About the Sumy region, we have official report from Ukrainian military command that Russians were stopped and the destiny for them is the same as it was for the Kharkiv operation 2 years ago. They created some sort of the bridgehead, but unable to move ahead. The new operation of the Russian army in the Sumy region was just to deflect the attention of the Ukrainian army from the east. Nothing more, nothing less. Oh, Jabba the Hutt, Viktor Orban, let's speak about him. A respected politician of Hungary, and he refuses to take Ukraine into the European Union. Like every country is agreed to at least look through this opportunity, but Hungarian leader came out with some sort of the referendum where Hungarians allegedly voted against Ukrainian accession into the European Union bloc. 95% voted against Ukraine. Guys, I do not believe that bullshit at all, especially right now that we have the ratings of the parliament parties where the opposition party is leading. So if there were elections right now in Hungary, Orban would lose those. And just 5% of Hungarians support Ukraine in EU. Come on, this is bullshit. Like complete nonsense. Draw numbers by Orban. Knowing Hungarians, I'm sure that they support Ukraine, and guys from Hungary, I know you support Ukraine for sure, so you may write your comment in the comment section below. Just for us to check out your opinion on Ukraine and on on Orban. Even Fico is okay with EU membership. Kind of strange, but it is like that. What Fico did, that he vetoed the new sanction package on Russia together with Orban. Those are two of the crazy countries in the European Union which are not the part of the democratic family, I would say. Well, not even the countries, but their governments. I just hope that with new elections there will be no Fico and no Orban ruling those actually great countries, Slovakia and Hungary. Oh my god, the Russian central bank governor admits the last economic resources exhausted. She means the stability resources which could be used by the central bank itself, but Russia still has some extra resources. For example, their National Stability Fund, which has roughly $30 billion. Russia tries to use those funds as rare as possible, but it doesn't work. They still have to deplete it little by little. So there's the high chance for ruble to plunge down this year. It all depends on oil prices and trades which Russia still may do with China and India. Couple of words about Middle East. Many of the sources tell that Iran moved uranium from Fordo before United States strikes. EU capitals believe, so we have the information from the European intelligence services. about this operation. So enriched uranium is somewhere out there in Iran, and because there is now the ceasefire, Israel is unable to track and annihilate the uranium which was enriched in this facility. About the strike itself, well, I guess it was after all successful, because we saw the dust from the concrete which was spewed over the ground in this area. Well, that's why I think the centrifuges and the holes inside they were devastated, but uranium is still out there, so Iran may restart its program, not from zero, let's say. They have the materials. Well, Donny says that nothing was taken from this facility, despite the satellite images showing many of the tracks out there. Nothing was taken out of facility. It would take too long, too dangerous, and very heavy and hard to move. What hard to move? Enriched uranium with tracks, it's not a skyscraper or something. This is just uranium. You can lift it, move it from one room to another room, to one place to other place. Donny is daydreaming. At the same time, he says about the leaked information, and he accuses Democrats for it. It was the perfect flight to nuclear sites in Iran. They should be prosecuted. So with those kind of the statements about the leaked information and what intelligence of the European Union countries tell us, I'm almost sure that Iran kept its nuclear program. Not intact, no, it is damaged, but they can renew it. It is not that difficult. And now they have more motivation to produce nuclear weaponry, because as we saw, they are unable to respond promptly, they are unable to perform the same operations as Israel did. Israel captured 31 of Iranian generals, 31 of the generals, and Iran, what they did? They launched missiles on some of the civilian buildings out there in Tel Aviv and other cities of Israel. That's why Ayatollah would like to obtain nukes. It is obvious. CNN says that Donald Trump wants to support Iran with $30 billion for their programs, nuclear programs. This is crazy. They're speaking about civil nuclear programs like building nuclear stations there. Guys, if it is true, I don't know what is happening. Also, United States, according to this article, is going to lift some of the sanctions from Iran. So one day you bomb Iranian nuclear program, the next day you give the money for Iranian nuclear program. And after all, why should Iran has nuclear program at all? Because they have very cheap fossil fuels. I mean, they have also lots of the gas, which is more ecological compared to oil. My point of view that Iran needs nuclear program just to produce weaponry. That's it. They just say that it's some sort of the civilian nuclear program, but de facto no. Why should they hide it under the rock and not even working with the International Atomic Agency? Because Iran voted not to work with Atomic Agency any longer. And now we have this information, and Davydov is also involved here. Well, at least this article comes from one source, it's CNN. Let's check out the confirmation tomorrow from different sources. So yeah, Trump has reportedly made a new offer to Iran per CNN, $30 billion in aid for civilian nuclear program under the condition that uranium enrichment is banned and $6 billion in Iranian funds would be returned. A new nuclear site would replace the bomb for the facility. I don't understand this, guys, at all. Maybe I'm loser in politics or something, but this is beyond understanding. Like, you bomb everything and then you restore everything without regime change. Because for Iranian regime it's the same. Ayatollah wants to erase Israel and USA. Here Trump wants to give the money. Well, it's kind of interesting. We'll see where it leads, where it goes. If it is true, it is absolutely crazy. This picture has some sense now, yeah? My tax dollars, somehow also my tax dollars. Reuters says that White House wants to cut United States funding for war crimes investigations. Sources say. We're speaking about Myanmar and Ukraine. Try to guess why. Yeah, it's Donald Trump. Now, my friends, please don't forget to press your huge like and also subscribe for the channel. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.